Welcome to the Horror Hangout, a podcast where three bearded film fans watch the best and worst horror movies of all time. My name is Luke Condor with a Kate, and I'm joined by my regular co-host, Mr. Andy Conduit Turner, and other regular co-host.
Oh, you jumped in there with that, have you?
Well,
that's all right. I know where your allegiances lie. Andy Conduit Turner with his first appearance in over 4 episodes. Welcome.
Hey guys, how you doing? Getting on well? Yeah, I'm really good, thank you.
Yeah, the cracks are beginning to show. 154 episodes in.
I guess you've been on best behaviour for the last few weeks, right? With less irregular co-hosts. So now you can be yourselves and fight.
That's true. Get back to it finally. We're being so polite with everybody, and now the true nature of us can come out. Just wait. You wait.
Who was on last week? I can't remember.
It was just the two of us, Luke. We had a chance to bond again after so long.
Oh yeah, the very quiet co-host.
I thought it went well.
Yeah, John. Yeah.
I thought it went well. I thought we got through it and became closer, but maybe not. Maybe you don't think that.
I took it as the exact same words.
Good. Yeah.
I had some horror news, but I've completely forgot what it was. I saw something come up, and I was like, "That'd be good to talk about on the show." Have you got any good horror news?
Yeah, I have, Luke. Do you know why? More prepared. Got some tabs open. Saw some horror news. Quite a few things, actually. I got more tabs open than usual, so I'll try and be fairly quick. But apparently, The People Under the Stairs, Wes Craven's 1991 horror movie, is getting new life over at Universal with Jordan Peele on board to produce a remake of the film. I feel that's what Jordan Peele's going to be now, and he's going to be attached as producers to stuff. Yeah. He's not going to go delve in too deep into directing stuff. I think he wants to make originals. So yeah, there we go. How do you feel about that film? That's a film we've not done on this podcast.
Not seen it for a long time. I don't really remember too much about it, other than the camera moving through the wall space, which is quite good.
I don't remember. I'm not sure if I've seen it. It's on. I've got like a horror movies to watch before you die, apt poster, and I've not scratched it off, so maybe I haven't watched it.
Yeah. What about you, Andy? Have you seen it?
You know, I was thinking, I have seen The People Under the Stairs, and then I realised I was thinking of Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. So I'm not sure I've seen The People Under the Stairs, you know?
Maybe that's one for us to do then.
Yeah, one for a future.
Find out what those people are up to under there.
Ben, what else is on that list that you've got that you've not seen?
Films to watch before you die. You're going to make me look now. I can't see because my eyes. Children of the Corn. Don't think I've seen that.
Yeah.
Maniac Cop.
Yeah.
Maniac Cop, Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh, I
sort of remember that. Did they have Rice Krispie guns?
They catch people in like big candy flosses, I think, and
it's been so long.
It's weird. It was on Netflix last time I looked. Of course, now I've said that will have triggered it to go off Netflix.
Yeah.
Bad Taste as well as on there.
Oh, that's great.
It's good. Yeah.
Not seen
I think that's probably on YouTube. One of those films.
Yeah. I'll have to have a little look. They're all on. They're all. I do want to watch them. I do want to get that poster all scratched off. I kind of need it.
What you do when it's all scratched off, but you then get a new poster with more obscure horror films, or throw that one away, or just frame it and say I've completed it. I can die.
I'll throw it in the bin. I think as soon as the last scratch of that weird, what is that stuff? The weird scratchy metallic stuff.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's like starch.
Is it starch?
Is it?
It's like a scratch card.
Yeah.
I thought it was like some sort of foil-y sort of thing.
Foil. Yeah. I will probably throw it in the bin. As soon as the last bit's scratched off, throw it in the bin. Yeah. There's also one that's like half scratched off because I started scratching it off and realised, oh no, I haven't seen it. I'm annoyed by that. If anything, I should have watched that one first.
Just watch that film to get rid of that problem.
Yeah. What are you watching that film for? You're really interested? Nah, I got to sort my poster out now. Well, my poster looks like shit on the wall.
I thought for a second you were going to say that, like, I've only half switched off because I like fell asleep during the film or something. No, I've seen it. I've seen a bit of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good idea. Actually, I couldn't do that to myself. Okay. What else? We've got. So, talking. Did I mention Children of the Corn just then?
You did.
Yeah.
As one of the films I haven't seen. Well, I better go and watch it soon because there's a new movie and the first image, poster art, and very limited theatrical release thing is out now. Oh wait, on this poster it says only in theaters October 23rd. That's in the past.
And it was only on for that one day.
A sequel? Is it like a straight to internet?
So I think it's a limited release. It wants to open in more theaters after that, but it's just a remake, I believe. I don't think it's a sequel.
Interesting.
But there we go. I thought that was more like hard hitting news, but it seems a bit underwhelming, really. But there we go. Also, Clive Barker, Luke Condor predicted the Clive Barker Renaissance. Next chapter of this is he has joined HBO's Hellraiser series as executive producer.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Even more of that Clive Barker flavor is going to be folded into the.
This is the TV show, right? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very curious.
Yeah.
So a Hellraiser TV show. Have we heard? I'm not sure. I've not read much about it yet. Is it meant to be like every week they raise hell slightly differently in a Hellraiser of the Week thing, or is it like has it got like an arc to it?
One long hell raised session. I think I read somewhere based on the comic books, or was some was taking inspiration from some of the comic book run. So I have no idea what that story is.
Other producers involved: David Gordon Green, who obviously made the new Halloween. Did we discuss there's a new like Halloween Kills teaser as well, didn't there?
That's what the news was in my head that I forgot. There's a Halloween Kills teaser. There's not much in there, but there's enough to get you teased.
Yeah, very teasy. And I think it came out on the day. Did it come out on Halloween? It actually did come out on Halloween, didn't it? The teaser.
Yes.
Either Halloween or like hours before.
Yeah. It's nuts, really, to think that obviously that was going to come out this like last October. I haven't tried to think about it too much, but how many things have like come and gone? How many dates have come and gone that would have been like major films? The only ones are Candyman, Ghostbusters, loads of stuff.
With Halloween, I saw some people, obviously with second lockdowns here now, maybe that would be less of an idea, but I saw there was some discussion of like, because horror movies comparatively don't cost as much to make, actually releasing something like that might have been just a shot in the arm some places would have needed, and they actually, without any competition, they may have done all right. But
no, that's true. Basically,
I just wish I could have watched it already because, if it was going to come out, it must have been possible for it to be finished, right? It must be done.
Yeah, I'm sure it's done.
Yeah.
There it is.
Old John's watching it every weekend. He's sick of it by the time it comes out the cinema.
He's like, God, I've been watching this over and over trying to perfect it, and now I realise I'm never going to get there. Okay, and one more bit of news which I just saw and literally opened the article to 10 seconds ago is that apparently Neil Marshall has said there's more of a chance now than ever before for a Dog Soldiers sequel. So he said there's things in the works and we're seeing what we can do.
I read some really dodgy news about Neil Marshall. He is a werewolf. Ransomed. He is a werewolf. He got a film made by ransoming. I'm going to look this up because I'm talking out of turn and it's insane.
before you have allegedly
quite an accusation to make. He ransomed an old school bus full of kids and said, "Let me make Dog Soldiers 2, or these kids are gonna get it. I'm gonna let an actual werewolf loose in there." We're making jokes now. It's gonna be a really, really serious situation that no one should make jokes about. Have you dreamt it, Luke? Because I've dreamt some very bizarre things before.
Okay, so there are claims that Hellboy director Neil Marshall blackmailed a producer because he had an affair or something. He blackmailed the producer for the money to make Hellboy. No, I don't know if it's true. It's probably just gossip, but it's kind of insane.
It's pretty insane, but to be fair, I mean, if extramarital problems, it got the film made, and is it a noble thing to do? He's not calling out an adulterer in order to go, all right, I'm going to put some into my creative endeavor. So you learn a lesson. You learn a lesson, but no one gets hurt.
He's denied his claims, by the way. He's denied
the claims.
It's okay to blackmail someone as long as it was blackmailing them because they did a bad thing. So if you'd said,
wait, we're going back to the Saw episode again, aren't we? That's Jigsaw all over.
Yeah, Jigsaw's like giving loads of money to charity. I'm going to teach you a lesson. No, you see, now you're the bad guy here, Jigsaw. If you'd had an affair, that'd have been all right.
Yeah.
You've had a what? Right, that's it. Get in this trap right now. I don't want to. Get it on your head. He's always putting people in traps as well, like when they're unconscious. That's
Marshall.
Right?
Oh, Jigsaw. Okay, yeah.
Jigsaw, yeah.
Yeah. Give me the money for help, otherwise this trap's going off right in your head, mate.
Trap's going off right in your buds, you bastard. There we go. Yeah, and that, I believe, is pretty much it for the news. I didn't see much else. So, moving swiftly on, has anybody watched anything of note this week? Obviously, it would have been Halloween week and the aftermath of that. Anybody watch anything on the 31st of October, for example?
I watched Halloween 3 on Halloween night.
Ah, you did, yes. Actually, yeah.
I think I've not seen this one very much, and I've got like I kind of remember certain moments. Maybe I've like just seen at some point growing up, but it's probably one of my favorite Halloween movies now, and it's also like batshit insane. Like there's androids in it. There's kids that turn into worms. There's
that very strange.
There's a guy from RoboCop who fires. Do you know who I mean? He's like the main boss.
Yeah.
Bunged out the window at the end,
Yeah.
So it was directed by Tommy Lee Wallace, isn't it? Who directed the It miniseries. He directed Fright Night Part 2, which we discussed on this podcast before. And what an ending as well.
Yeah, it's a pretty good ending. The soundtrack was really good. Yeah.
That soundtrack's nuts.
The soundtrack really kept John Carpenter sort of vibes going quite well. I really liked it. I thought it was a genuinely interesting, bizarre, cool horror movie. I would like if they did Halloween like that, like a different story every year.
I think that would have been good. Why did they not do it? Did it not do very well box office wise?
It didn't do well because Michael Myers. Yeah.
He could have been on the advert singing a song, couldn't he?
There has got to be
Halloween.
That'd be
a
brilliant.
Michael Myers cameo in it, surely.
Yeah, well, so they're watching the film Halloween.
Yes, you're right. They're So in this universe, the film Halloween exists. So essentially, Michael Myers shouldn't exist.
It should now go full. It should go full circle, and when we get to Halloween Ends, when we watched Halloween 2018, and that doctor was dead obsessed that Michael should say something. He was trying to get him to talk all the time.
Yeah, say something, Michael. Anything.
The end of Halloween ends. He should finally talk, and it should be the song, the Silver Shamrock song.
He sings like a kid. Days till Halloween. Yeah.
Got him. I was very impressed by that.
More, I like you put this into My Way by Frank Sinatra. Much more than this. I
snapped my way.
Very nice, Michael.
That was the other thing he'd learned while he was not talking in prison. That and learning to drive.
Very nice, Michael.
What else have we watched? Anyone else watch anything good? Halloween night?
Sorry, Ben.
I don't remember. Go on, Andy. I'm trying to remind you.
Halloween night, my sister was visiting. Her boyfriend does not like very scary horror movies, so as to be a good host, we watched something that was not too much spookum. So we watched The Visit.
Oh yeah.
I quite like The Visit. It's
got some creepy moments.
The bit under the house is pretty spookums, and the bit towards the end, and like I know that the bits in it are divisive. Like I think that kid you'll either find hilarious or it'll be really annoying. But you love him, think he's very funny. But yeah, apart from that, I've been playing a bit. I've started Until Dawn on the PlayStation. Haven't got very far yet.
We'll play that.
And then I played Carrion again. I went back and just had the little itch to scratch.
Yeah.
I need some more of those.
Is that on offer yet? Because I need to play that.
What is this game?
Carrion. It's like the reverse horror one. So you're like the Thing type monster, and you like crawl around the vents and become like
a big red stringy weird thing.
Yeah, it's free on Xbox Game Pass, so I played it on that. Cool. But it's worth checking out. Like I don't think it's very expensive.
It was on Steam.
It's great. It's not a long game, but I'd finished it and I thought, fancy another little go at that. Chase some scientists about, so went another little go.
There's a couple of cool horror games at the minute I want to play. There's that Phasmophobia.
Yeah.
One. Have you seen that one?
I watched a video on that earlier. Did you see the girlfriend reviews video?
Yeah, I watch all the girlfriend reviews videos because they're all amazing.
Yeah. Great, aren't they?
It's not a horror game. It's Among Us, which is kind of based off The Thing as well.
Yeah, we've been playing Among Us a lot. I'm not so much into it. My daughter's into it. After about 3 or 4 games, I kind of got a little bit bored with the concept. I can understand how it is basically just The Thing, but for kids. You know, even though you do still see the kills. They're little animated kills, obviously, but there's still people getting their heads chopped and stuff.
Heads lopped off. Yeah.
What
about you, Ben? What did you watch Halloween night?
So Halloween night, I watched Hubie Halloween, the Adam Sandler Halloween Happy Madison movie. This was so my daughter's with me on Halloween, so we've been watching some sort of appropriate kid horror films in the build up, and this was kind of like one that we discussed, and it almost felt like it was the only one left for us to kind of tackle. I think we watched The Witches the week before.
Yeah.
So we decided to watch this, and everyone who's anyone from Adam Sandler films is in this. Kevin James, Steve Buscemi, Rob Schneider, and it's all right. There's a few laughs. It's not too ridiculous. Adam Sandler is doing that weird chin, odd voice thing he kind of always did in the 90s. It kind of but it doesn't go full ridiculous like, I don't know, like Little Nicky or something. And there's a few like good jokes, a few like adult jokes that obviously go over the kids' heads, but I was chuckling away. So
there is that bit I always chuckle at in Little Nicky with the crazy eyes. Oh, crazy eyes.
Yeah. And I did also watch The Craft Legacy.
Oh, cool. Oh,
so, how was it?
Yeah. So after seeing the trailer, obviously we were all a bit iffy on it. I think Luke, you even said it was giving you Riverdale vibes.
Yeah.
Feels like, and it does feel like that. It does feel like a sort of young adult version of that film. I haven't seen the original Craft in a long time, so I couldn't comparing it to that was probably quite difficult. But this vibe, it feels like probably the most 2020, and by 2020 I don't mean like pandemic and stuff like that, but it feels very hip for a movie and very hip and modern. Like they got all the lingo in there. People are saying Stan. People are talking about TikTok.
They're all the TikToks,
Yeah. There are no goths in it. That's one thing I thought. Not enough goths. Needed more goths. The girls are suitably normal, mainstream. Needs more goths. But David Duchovny's in it, and I love David Duchovny. And when he turned up, I hated him. So I thought he's a great actor because I hate him in this film. Apart from that, it was pretty middle of the road, but worth watching if you're a completionist and you want to watch it after if you enjoyed The Craft.
Is you said you haven't watched the old one for a while. Is it meant to be as a remake, or is it like a reimagining or sequel?
It's a sequel. So there's sort of discussion of things that happen in the same town, and a particular character gets a mention. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say, mate. You can't get anything else out of me. All right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched. I've had this on DVD sitting on my shelf for a little while. Finally cracked it open. Rubber by Quentin Dupieux.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. It's about the killer tire that comes to life.
You've seen it before, right?
No, first time.
I haven't. This is like gotta be a Luke Condor.
I know.
Wow. We'll find out what you think of it first, I guess.
Well, you're right. I mean, like it's got all the trademarks of a film that I would really love. Like it's super meta. It's bizarre. Like it's got a couple of amazing scenes. The bit where the tire comes to life is filmed really well, and it's like it's done no perfect. And there's one scene later on where someone's had the head blown off by the tire, and there's a guy who's like, "That's okay now. We don't have to finish. There's no one watching anymore. We can. This isn't real." And he's trying to convince everyone it's not real, and he's like shooting himself, and it's like just props, and like the uniforms are props. But then he says, "Check the body, wake them up," and you go, "No, it's a real body." And there's a moment where he starts to doubt that's such an interesting, like little moment that he's doubting, and all these things are props, so he must be right, but even he's doubting. And I was like, that's why I like weird films, because that's such a weird little emotion that you would never really get from any of a film. But it does fizzle out, I'm afraid. Like it's almost like they weren't quite sure where they were going to go with it, or they were trying to deconstruct that kind of horror movie aspect, and they kind of deconstructed it to the point where I was like, I preferred the constructed version of this. But it's still good. I really liked it.
It's definitely a good time. I've not seen that one for a while either, but it was fun, if I remember right.
Yeah, directed by the guy who did all the Flat Eric music.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mr. Wazzo.
Mr. Wazzo.
Yeah. Quentin, I just say his name, Quentin Dupieux or something like that. Amazing. Yeah, same guy. He's got a few films out. I need to watch some more.
Sweet. Yeah. Nice. Anything else? Anything else anyone's seen?
Not for me.
That's the main stuff.
Oh, hang on. I've been watching that TV show, the Simon Pegg and Nick Frost thing.
How is it?
The Truth Seekers.
So, me and Kat blitzed through it super quick. It's like Supernatural meets the X-Files, but with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost doing their thing. It's quite funny. I wouldn't say it's like hilarious, but it's just a really fun, easy to watch TV show. Really nice. Just something to put on and chill out to. I definitely recommend it.
Sweet. I don't really know anything about it apart from like a couple of little ads I've seen on social media. So
it's good. Some really funny bits in it as well. Julian Barrett's in it.
Oh, really?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Malcolm McDowell. Watch it. It's worth it.
Lovely. And then other than that was just The Mist.
The Mist. Yeah.
Two mist. What are you two misty boys think of this? Oh, I guess we got to do the thing. So The Mist, also known as Stephen King's The Mist, is a 2007 American science fiction horror film based on the 1980 novella The Mist by Stephen King. Didn't realize it was 1980. Thought it was a bit later than that. The film was written and directed by Frank Darabont. A freak storm unleashes a species of bloodthirsty creatures on a small town where a small band of citizens hole up in a supermarket and fight for their lives. You gotta fight.
IMDb sitting at 7.1. Rotten Tomatoes 72%. Critics score. Letterboxd 3.4. Some choice Letterboxd reviews here. Silent Dawn says, and the award for the biggest bitch in cinematic history goes to.
Oh man,
4 stars.
Oh man,
man.
We'll get on to her.
Groove Man says, before you make any big decision, just wait 5 minutes. He gives it 4.5 stars.
Just have a cup of tea. Just have a cup of tea.
Just wait. Yeah. And then Otto, on the 1st of May 2020, he said, I want to punch everyone in the face. I hope they all die soon. 0.5 star. Yeah. So, what's your history with this film? First time watch or?
I've seen this film quite a lot. I've owned like a DVD that I think I've put on probably half a dozen times since it's been released. I think I saw it at the cinema, and I think I remember it being like a film that's kind of grown in my head as being like a bit of a classic ever since. Started off as like, oh, it's just a sort of monster movie, you know. But then after a while, it's kind of like, I want to go back and get me some more of that Mist action. It's got it all going on. It's got great characters. It's got hateable characters, and this cast is stacked. Everyone you look at is like, oh, that's that from this. That's this guy from that. So obviously Thomas Jane, Deep Blue Sea, is the lead. Marcia Gay Harden is the mentioned bitch, who is all I remember her being in is like the girlfriend in Flubber. I think that's right.
Yeah.
You got three Walking Dead big actors: Laurie Holden, Melissa McBride, and Jeffrey DeMunn. So obviously Frank Darabont directed this before Walking Dead, so he's like got a Walking Dead show. Andre Braugher from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Is that how you pronounce that name? Andre Braugher.
I don't know.
It's so weird. After watching so much Brooklyn Nine-Nine, it's
Don't get me on a
bizarre.
Lee Wannell. Don't get me on
It's
Lee Wannell
the Wannell situation.
You got Toby Jones. What? You got William Sadler, aka Death from Bill and Ted. Jesus Christ. Literally. Oh, you got Sam Witwer, who is the guy from the Force Unleashed Star Wars games, like the face. You recognize him, the one with the really strong eyebrows, the army dude.
Is he actually the face from the Force Unleashed?
Yes,
Starkiller himself.
Starkiller, that's it. Cast is unbelievable. Literally, even people who say one line, you're like, hang on a minute, I've seen you before. You've won an Oscar or something. It's insane.
Matey was that computer in Captain America 2. All sorts.
Yeah. Oh, and in like the first 10 seconds, you get a Dark Tower Easter egg.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And the thing,
every Stephen King fan's like, oh, Dark Tower.
And he says he's doing it for a movie. So in this universe of The Mist, a Dark Tower movie exists, which isn't the one with Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey.
Maybe it gets cancelled though because of all the monsters.
Yeah.
What?
And the poster never got finished. So how are you going to advertise it?
Yeah, that's true.
He said he's going to start again, and he's still alive. Oh wait, sorry, spoiler. He says he's going to start the poster again, so maybe he got on with it after a while.
He'll still be able to paint after the events of the film.
Can you imagine if that was a post-credit scene, him going, "Finish this painting, then I guess."
Better finish this painting, I guess. I'm days behind schedule.
Yeah.
Still got the gun in his hand, shaking. Put that down. Yeah, but I kind of love it. Sorry, I went off on a bit of a nuts rant there, but anything? Yeah, what do you guys think? what are your guys' relationship with this bad boy?
Go on, Andy.
My history was that it was mostly ruined for me. So just when it was at the point where it was coming on TV, I was living in South Korea, and TV schedules don't make much sense there. So like horror films would be on just like in the middle of the day. So I came back from my lunch break from school one day. I wasn't at school, I was teaching. I came back, my apartment was over the road. I came back from my lunch break, sat down, and had a bit of telly on while I had my sandwiches, and saw the last 10 minutes of the movie. And I'd never seen it before, and I was like, what's this? It's the Punisher. What's he up to? And
Punishing.
Yeah, he was. And
punishing.
So I saw the last 10 minutes of the film, and I was like, oh. So I know it happens there, and then I eventually watched it again.
Did it still have the same effects? Because I remember when I first saw that ending, I was blown. I was mind blown. Did it still sort of affect you?
Yeah, I saw enough to understand what was going on. I sort of saw it from when they were going towards the car. So I was like, oh, that was a kick in the pants. Obviously, it wasn't the same as if I'd seen the whole movie play out and had the attachment to the characters. So then I left it a couple of years before I watched it then for real. And then even though I knew the ending, it was still a good movie I enjoyed. And then I haven't seen it again until I watched it for this. And I think I was messaging out, and I think I said to you guys, like, 2020 is either the perfect or the worst year to watch this film. I'm not sure which.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I felt like that. But it's sort of a good thing that this didn't take place in 2020, because can you imagine all of the added stresses of a mist rolling in? You'd be like, oh, come on, give it a break.
In many cases, it'd be a blessing.
Marcia Gay Harden's character would definitely have a podcast and a YouTube channel and like loads and loads of followers. And without a doubt. But yeah, it's pretty nuts, isn't it, this film? I do love the sort of different creatures and stuff, and I sort of found an article as well, which is like the Wikipedia of all the creatures that appear in the book and the film, and kind of explaining them a bit.
Well, they've all got little human faces.
Yeah, it's nuts, isn't it? Yeah, they've got like weird little human twitchy. Yeah. It's pretty nuts.
Little shouty faces.
I think there was like a prequel. Well, not a prequel. Sorry, like a pre-credit scene, which I think I'm saying that wrong. Not pre-credit scene, but like a sort of bit at the start. Why can't I think of words?
Cold open.
Prologue. A prologue scene where they sort of show the scientists open in another dimension to sort of see where the mist came from. And I kind of thought, I don't know, like I don't think this film needs it. But
in the book, is that? Sorry, I've not read the book, so
it's in the book, but I think they wanted that it was shot for this film as well, and it got cut. I kind of want to see it.
You don't need it in the film.
Definitely don't need it. But I'd love to see like a little deleted scene.
Good choice, Frank.
Of that happening. But you can imagine as well, can't you? Like,
and the ending isn't the same as the book either, right?
No, I think the ending is like.
I read that. Yeah.
It hints towards the ending of this film, but doesn't go through with it. I think it like goes right. We're just going to carry on.
And a quick read of the wiki, and he basically goes, "I think it might just be him at the book," but he's like, "I'll crack on. I'll keep having a look."
Just in case any listeners listen to this and they haven't seen the film, you have to see the film to get the end, because the ending is one of the. It's weird because I think I remember posting on Facebook a couple of years ago. I always assumed that this ending was universally loved, because to me it's like a perfect horror ending. Like it really like gets under your skin and gets to you, but it seems to be 50-50. Some people just say it's too bleak and it's too like mean, but I liked it. I thought everyone did, but
I think it's good and it's memorable. You know, everyone remembers it, and I've even seen it memed quite a lot this year, where it says, "Don't worry, we're on the home stretch of 2020," and it's like the home stretch, and it's all them in the car. And I'm
I wouldn't change this ending for anything, and they will come to it. But like, the alternative to that would have been just like a Deus Ex Machina ending, like, you know what I mean? It's like, and everything was just fine. So I like the ending and like the film overall.
Yeah.
There is a TV show as well, isn't there?
It's on Netflix. I haven't watched it. There's one series on Netflix, I think. Yeah.
I watched the first episode. So from what I only watched the first episode, but from what I could gather, and I might be off basis on this, when you go into the mist, there's not things in it, but it makes you see things, or makes you see bugs and stuff. It didn't seem to be quite right. The way
I didn't watch it for whatever reason, I don't really know.
I don't think it was particularly enjoyed by people. One thing I've got to say, like, I always forget every time I watch this, the way it's filmed is really interesting. It's got like a sort of documentarian sort of feel. Like the camera's constantly moving. Sometimes you'll linger on people having a conversation, but you won't hear them. You'll be hearing something else. From the other side of the room. It makes it feel really busy and really alive. Like you're wandering through a supermarket and just catching glimpses of people going about their way. It's really interesting.
I really noticed that the sound design in particular. I wasn't sure whether it was because I was watching it listening on headphones instead of from a TV. But the sound, it's really quite remarkable for exactly the points you say, Luke. Like you quite often hear more deliberately than you get your normal rhubarb in the background of a conversation. Yeah. You can distinctly pick out what other people that you aren't focused on are saying.
Yeah, it makes it feel more like just capturing snippets of real life rather than framing two people. Now you guys say this, and it doesn't feel as staged. I've got to say the special effects are a little bit ropey, but I've heard that they look better in the black and white version, which I've not seen. I'm still angry about.
I wouldn't know.
Ben might know because he has seen the black and white version.
Yeah, it looked a bit ropey.
The 1% over
there. Yeah, all right. Just because I was patient and just got a good old sniff around to find a good version. No, it looked a bit iffy. It looked a bit dodgy. It looked a bit shiny and a bit wobbly. But it didn't affect the the film for me too much. It wasn't like, oh, this is unwatchable or this looks naff, or still kind of creeped out by everything I saw. And I think the less of something you see, the better it is. But we see a lot of stuff in this, a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so how do we start? We start with David Drayton painting Roland. Do you pronounce it Deschane or Deschane? I've always said Deschane.
Deschane, I've always said, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Deschane,
yeah. With next to the Dark Tower on a field of roses. I've still not even read the last 3 books of the Dark Tower, so I don't really know what I'm talking about. But it looks like something from the Dark Tower. I imagine it probably is. And so he's painting, and then he goes to bed, leaves the painting in the attic, wherever his studio is.
Do they nip down to the basement because there's a hurricane? Because he's cussing himself because he didn't think to take his painting down with him. But
just hold on to it, hold it against his body.
But he foolishly just takes his wife and kid.
Yeah.
Not his painting.
Yeah. So that gets like obliterated by a tree. A hurricane knocks a tree into the house, through the window, right into the painting. And then that's how we start the film. There's trees have smashed everything up. There's some kind of history between David and Raymond Holt. Yeah. I'm not too sure what.
He's I think it expands on it later on, but they're obviously troubled neighbours. They don't get on very well, and I think
I think there was a lawsuit, wasn't there?
Yeah, one has sued the other one, and David won because Captain Holt is not happy with him about it. And then when his tree has fallen over and smashed their boathouse, he says, "I'm gonna have to talk to him," but he sort of gears himself up for it. It's gonna be a shitty conversation with his neighbour because he'll just threaten to say, "Well, why don't you take me to court then?" But he says, "No, I'm just going to go and be nice," and he is, and it looks like they're going to, after a bit of a frosty start, he sort of, sees that the guy is annoyed that his car has been smashed, and then he kind of offers to take him to the supermarket to do some errands.
Yeah, starts off quite friendly. It's quite a little neighbourly. The supermarket, it's not the kind of supermarket you get in the UK. It's not a Tesco. People seem quite happy to chat with each other in there. There's no self-checkout.
It's like everybody seems to sort of know each other. Like the staff are talking to people by name and that.
Yeah.
Not like that in the UK. People are just like, "Get out my bloody way! That's my trolley."
Yeah.
Don't look at me. Don't talk to me. Don't bother me.
Touch me. Yeah.
Don't touch me. I'll get out of the way.
And that's the staff.
Yeah. And that's the staff. That's just the
checkout
staff.
lady.
That's how I talk to just kids running around. Get out of the fucker.
I just keep my keys in my hand and just wail around as I go around the supermarket.
All right, I'm going to be doing this, and if you get hit, it's your own
problem. Well, I'm going to be doing this. Kicking
I'm just going to be swinging these nunchucks like this. If you happen.
Good time.
So
it's kind of like a machine gun now of characters, where you're introduced to characters via a line, a facial expression, a reaction to someone talking, like in such a quick succession that I could barely keep up. I was literally like, "Oh my god, how many characters are we establishing here?" It's a good dozen.
Yeah.
And this is our first 2020 trigger, right? Because there's been a disaster and everyone is doing a mad panic shopping, and the shop's really busy. People picking the shelves clean.
Yeah.
Like, oh no.
I need at least 100 toilet rolls because, I'm going to be doing a lot of shitting over the next few weeks. This mist ain't going to stop me.
You're right. They do have a lot of characters that we meet here. There's probably too many to go into. I think probably the most important ones that we want to mention is there's the checkout girl that everyone's friendly with. There's the army guys who are getting ready for their big weekend away because they're about to get some lovely holiday. And most importantly, the hero of the piece, assistant manager Ollie, the best man.
Oh yeah. Assistant manager Ollie, but is he the manager? No, he's an assistant manager.
Yeah. Assistant to the manager.
Assistant to the manager, and then so Marcia Gay Harden is Mrs. Carmody as well. She's there at this point. she's just, if only she left 2 seconds before all this kicked off. So there is pretty much pandemonium everywhere. There's like police cars driving everywhere, army trucks. There's like a military police guy who comes into the supermarket and tells those army dudes that, look, your leave's cancelled. You got to get back to the base, you knobs. And they're like, you'd be fuming, wouldn't you? I pretend I hadn't heard him. Even if he was like right in my face, I'd just be like, what?
Yeah.
What's this? Gutted.
Put your headphones
So
in.
my next set of leave is cancelled. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but I've already left.
Yeah, I've already left. I've already started that leave. So joke's on you.
So starting from now.
I've not, who you think I am, I'm not in the army. But you're wearing the, no.
Cosplay.
Cosplay, yeah.
Going to
You're the guy from The Force Unleashed. I recognise your face. Anyone could recognise your face.
It's a mask.
Not me.
It's a really good mask.
What else is that guy in? I did recognise him, but I've not really played The Force Unleashed.
I mean, he's not in My Chemical Romance, but he's got the right look for it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. The brow's a bit too strong, I think. It's like the strongest.
Actually, yeah, My Chemical Romance is not very... With that brows that he could be in the Rasmus, couldn't he?
Rasmus.
The Rasmus.
In the shadow.
Oh. Yeah.
He just needs a feather in his hair. That's what he had, the guy from the Rasmus, wasn't it?
Was.
A little feather in his hair. What a look. Never caught on though, did it? Nope. Unlucky. Yeah, so then it kicks off fairly quickly, doesn't it?
The alarms go off, the sirens go off, which are always terrifying.
And then Dale comes legging it in, doesn't he? Dale from The Walking Dead, bit of a nosebleed, saying, "There's something in the mist. It just got a character that we assume everyone knows. Everyone get inside because the mist is."
And it rolls in. It rolls in. That's the only way. Well, the only thing a mist can do really is roll in. There's nothing else it can do, can it?
It doesn't get past the door. Like even like the gaps in the door. No, there's no separation.
It just goes right. Not allowed in there. Got you. There's a weird bit like mist. Where earlier on they sort of noticed a mist, like
when they're at home. Lake near the house, right?
Yeah, and they kind of make out this weird. I'm like, I don't think I'd ever look at mist and go, "That's weird. That's a weird looking mist."
There are often weird looking mists. Like when you're driving around here in the winter, like above figs fields and stuff. I can see why people believed in ghosts or like wisps and stuff because it's so thick and it kind of hangs in like ghoulish looking shapes and stuff. It's quite interesting.
Candy floss, white candy floss.
Yeah,
but it comes rolling in like pretty quick, sharp. That dude gets to the store. They close all the doors, which is a bit weird because I think some people would just like barge their way out, wouldn't they? They'd just be like, "Oh, out of the way."
A few people do, don't they? Because you see other people out in the car park just legging it to their cars before the mist
would you do? That would be me. I'd have zero patience. I would definitely I'd definitely be gone. I'd be like, out of the way. I got places to be, and then I die. Then I get torn in half by a arachnid scorpion thing. I don't know, something. It's pretty nuts. But yeah, I think the concept of what the mist is and where it came from, and obviously we'll get into that. But I think it's really cool. Like,
yeah,
I just love the thought of it. I'd love to see more of like where it came from, and maybe imagine a movie set in that world as well. Bloody crazy, mate.
It's got the old like Lovecraftian sort of vibes to it as well, which I think as soon as you put tentacles coming out of the mist, that gives it the Lovecraftian flavour. I can't remember where I read the reason that Frank Darabont, the director, wanted it to be in black and white was because the whole thing was meant to be like an homage to Attack of the Killer stuff.
Yeah, films. Like old black and white like creature features, right? I read an interview with him where he spoke about it. Yeah, and I imagine it would have worked wonderfully. Maybe one day we'll get to see that version, Luke.
Can't wait.
You can only hope.
So they're locked in there. It doesn't take too long before David he's I don't know why he's in the back rooms. He's doing something.
Goes to get a blanket for the kid, I think, because Ollie tells him that the blankets are in the back, and he nips back there and finds out that the generator, because the power's gone off because of the storm, It's the vent has backed up, so therefore it's pumping gross old diesel all over the warehouse.
Yeah.
So he turns it off.
Yeah.
And then he notices something rapping on the door.
Yeah. Okay. So he goes and tells some people about it. There's William Sadler, Norm, who I think is the Shermanator from American Pie.
I was about to say,
yeah,
that's
another guy we didn't. That's another guy we didn't list. Is Shermanator? How did we forget him?
Ollie Weeks, a couple of other people as well. But they go, and this bit's like frustrating. Like David Drayton is telling them, like, don't go outside into the mist because there's something bad there. But they're not listening. They're like, shut up, just because you can paint.
Mr. Big Shot, yeah.
Mr. Big Pants over here. Billy Big Bollocks.
They've got like an immediate chip on their shoulder about him. They're like, all right, just because you can paint. And I think the quote here is, he goes, oh, just because you can paint and you know people from New York and LA, next time you've got an idea, better count your teeth first because I'll smash your face in. And it's like...
Yeah. It's just like, oh, for fuck's sake, give it a rest, lads.
Yeah.
My God, we're all in this together. Like, literally, the unwillingness of people to believe certain things that people say, no matter what the evidence is, slapping them in the face, is like just annoying, proper annoying. And the thing is, that is completely true to life. That there will be people like that, skeptics, immediate skeptics, who take a stance and refuse to move from that stance until they're dead.
Probably personified by Raymond Holt's character and the way he reacts to it. But I thought that was really kind of believable. I can definitely picture people being like that.
Yeah.
Like, just opposed to even taking a look because they want to prove wrong or anything.
But at this point, he's not even claiming there are monsters, is he? He's just saying there was something banging on the door.
Yeah.
So don't just going out there willy nilly, and they are having none of it.
Yeah.
Just like, it's just a massive wind up, and it's like, in what universe am I taking you to the supermarket, teaming up with my mates to wind you up? Like what? And it happens to coincide with the fact that this mist is here as well. Who do you think I am?
Yeah. And all those sirens went off, so the military think it's a bad old business.
The whole town's in on it. Yeah.
Town's in on it just to make him look kind of silly for 10 seconds.
But they don't.
Truman Show.
They don't take kindly to this, so they send the Shermanator out to. They put the power on, and they open the door a little bit so he can go out and clear the
Shermanator,
clear the exhaust pipe.
Yeah.
But he gets Shermanated, I guess.
Yeah.
Poor old Shermanator. What was good about Shermanator is he did end up with somebody at the end of one of the American Pie films, didn't there? I think there was a bit where
he ends up with Shannon Elizabeth from Jack Frost.
He does.
Yeah,
he ends up
the
with
ultimate happy ending.
So it all shakes out for him, but not in this film.
No, something shakes out of him.
No.
So the tentacles come. The tentacles are like I don't know, mean-looking tentacles with giant sharp bits on them, and they don't even just like grab politely. They kind of like pluck bits of flesh off his leg and his chest. It like pops off of him and it goes over Thomas Jane's face. I mean, it's horrendous, and also like none of the people who put Shermanator up to this are even helping. They're kind of shocked. They
stand
by
there
what they're
absolutely cacking their dacks, don't they? They have got they've got nothing.
I mean, it's pathetic, really, isn't it? That's what's frustrating about it.
It's all up to Thomas Jane, David, and Ollie.
And when Shermanator gets pulled off by the, I mean,
he gets slurped off.
And the Shermanator gets very pulled off, right? Yeah.
And he gets eaten by tentacles. But as he's getting eaten, the CG doesn't look good. And this bit in particular, his face looks like it's been photoshopped on with like a face swap app on top of the tentacles. I mean, it gets carried outside. But when Thomas Jane punches William Sadler in the face, I felt it, and I was so there with him. But that's not even that feeling just gets worse and worse and worse when Miss Carmody starts to come into it. But
you're right. Thomas Jane has having none of it, and you wonder why he let him, because clearly, unless the anger pushed him to a new level of strength, why did he take that guff from him in the first place when he could clearly beat him up quite easily?
Also, if he was a real painter type person, I mean, he wouldn't be Thomas Jane, he'd be Bob Ross. So if you imagine Bob Ross
yeah,
or someone like that.
like, here's a cute little tentacle here, just coming in from the west. Isn't it cute? It's cool.
I would love to see Bob Ross
hello.
doing Lovecraftian paintings.
It just wants to say hello. Boop. It just wants to boop you. Oh no, it's taking a bit of flesh. Don't worry, it's just hungry.
Yeah,
just hungry.
He's just pulling him off there.
Yeah.
He just wants to
you've
see
got
what the Shermanator tastes like.
You've got to do a YouTube video of that.
Yeah. So he beats up the Thomas Jane beats
Yeah.
up the other mechanics and basically says, "It's your fault. You let that kid die. So fuck you." And then he has the foresight as the doors are closing to chop off a bit of the tentacle. That'll be handy proof later on. And then they go out and said, "Right, we've kind of got to tell everyone what the deal
Even
is."
the children. Even the children. Won't somebody please think of the children?
But he doesn't.
No, you got to know that there's blood-sucking tentacles out there.
And
they're going to get you.
They will. Just to clarify, they will get you.
Yeah.
And you're right, Captain Raymond Holt. He loses his mind that he might be trying to trick him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if there's one thing he hates, it's looking slightly foolish.
It's practical jokes. I imagine Raymond Holt isn't a fan.
Maybe that's what he sued him for.
Yeah. It's still so weird seeing Raymond Holt in this film now, just because he's such a silly character, like generally. But it's good. So who else? There's I guess some people are starting to believe. Andre.
Everyone at first sort of like kicks off. Like the store manager says, "Oh, that you guys are messing about," and then he takes, for some reason, he takes a few, but not Captain Holt to the back to show them the tentacle.
They didn't want to
go. I think Captain Holt's just like, nah.
I won't
someone
even.
Else. No, your story walking.
I won't even accept that I was tricked enough to go and look at this absolute proof that you've got. Because I don't want to go back there and you go, or you walk through the door and then they put some cling film across the door and he goes, "Oh!"
It'd be like the hand from a Jackass movie.
Yeah,
the one that slaps them.
Yeah.
Hey Raymond, could you just carry this suit? Yeah.
Can you just carry this whole tray of cupcakes?
There's a bucket above the door, just after you, Raymond.
Yeah.
So he doesn't even want to go and look, but the others go through and they have a look and they poke the spooky tentacle with the broom. It thrashes about and then dissolves into a puddle, conveniently making sure it's gone, so it won't be future proof.
Yeah.
Sneaky tentacle.
Very sneaky. The sneakiest. So they close up the supermarket. There is one woman who is Carol from The Walking Dead, who's like, "I gotta go because I've left my bloody 8-week-old baby at home with a 4-week-old." I don't know. She said it's like an 8-year-old with her. Yeah. She's like, "I left my 4-year-old in charge of the goldfish," so she's got to go.
Sometimes she forgets to watch her. Won't anyone come and walk me home? And she asks several of our major characters.
Why does she act like that? Like it's anyone else's responsibility to walk her home? And I know it kind of sucks because it's a bit awkward because you see everyone like, "Oh, bloody hell." But you wouldn't, would you? You'd go, "Look, if you really got to go, then go. But I ain't dying too." Do they know that I suppose they do know that the potential of death is out there now.
Yeah, I mean, was this before or after the Shermanator? Was this not just before that? So maybe we don't know any monsters.
We have heard people screaming in the mist.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who it was. Someone went out there and just started screaming.
Just people who were outside immediately, I guess, as they were closing the doors.
It's still part of a massive practical joke, all right? It's just he's employed people to scream in the mist to make Brooklyn Nine-Nine dude look ridiculous.
Yeah, but
all it is.
She does chip off, doesn't she? She heads off into the mist.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, "Screw you guys, see you later." And obviously it's setting something up. Yeah. There we go. Happens. Yeah, happens.
Yeah. Okay, so we get a lot of another little cinematic, not trick, but technique that Frank Darabont does a lot is a lot of fade into black to show passage of time, which I think works quite well. I always like a fade to black in a movie. So we move on a little bit further. I think by now Miss Carmody is already.
She's starting to have her ideas about. I think she's just she sort of gains in confidence as the film goes, and she's had her first discussions of, hey, like this is Jesus and his dad. They're pissed off with you lot, and they've had a gutful. Speaking of having a gutful, sorry, the dog is like strapped. So I'm going to let him outside. Bear with a sec. Carry on.
I could imagine her having the effect she does have on some people over a much longer period of time. It's almost like the fact that it kind of seems to happen over the course of what, a day and a half,
2
maybe,
days.
like that.
The story goes.
It feels a bit too much. I mean, it's believable, as I said, believable to a degree, but maybe not quite as intense as it does happen. Because it almost happens.
She does have the
breakdown
best
of
zinger
society
in the film, where Thingy says, "I'll be your friend" or something.
Yeah.
So if I need a friend like you, I'll just squat down and shit one out. Thanks.
I mean, how is she?
It's a good line.
How is she like friends with God? Surely she should reflect on that.
You watch a lot of Frankie Boyle, I reckon, on YouTube. She's got them all the zingers ready to go. Yeah, but you're right. 2 days is a bit quick. I feel like that's a bit of a Stephen King thing, where he kind of puts this small microcosms of society together and makes them grotesque versions of certain aspects of society to sort of show them at odds.
He does something quite similar in The Stand, doesn't he? But obviously on a much bigger scale in terms of society he's building up, and it almost feels like there's a certain part when this comes to a head. The behavior of this character, Mrs. Carmody, when it comes to a head, it almost feels like something that you would see at the end of a series. You know, at the end of a series of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, this is like she is like a character that you. Like your heroes turn up to a settlement that's had like this for months, and she's the person that's risen to the top there. You kind of find her when she's there. She doesn't feel like someone who would rise to power while those other people were, those normal people.
Because there's nothing about her that like she's not. Sometimes with characters like that, with charismatic people and sort of the leaders and and obviously she's trying to manipulate people by preying on their fears, but there's no kindness to her. I think sometimes with a character like that you need a side of you which is a kindness side, which is almost allows people to be drawn in, and then suddenly here's all the horrible venom and stuff to deal with that. But for some reason,
good. And to be honest, I'm not claiming that I'm a nice person here, but when she first starts in these opening scenes, I'd have snuck her out the back door and said, "Oh no, Sherman's out there. He said he's
found
Jesus."
He said it was actually Jesus that came and fetched him. You want to go and see what he's up to? Ow.
Fetched him. Jesus is there to fetch you, Shermanator. You gotta stop calling me that. I've not been in those films for 5-6 years. Yeah.
Yeah, she'd have been off. She'd have been slurped right off into the fog mist. Sorry.
But so her immediate thing, slurped. Her immediate thing is that this is God is wrath upon us for treating him like a right knob, and now he's brought a mist full of horrible shite.
And she talks
what
about
is
how
annoying? What is annoying is she gets sorry Andy. What is annoying is that she gets proved right to the very smallest degree. Like she says someone will die when people are dying, and then someone dies and someone says, "See, she said someone would die, she knows it."
Doesn't she suggest killing the kid right early on as well? Like I seem to think
she's got to make sacrifices and so on, doesn't she? I don't remember her saying about the kid straight away.
Okay,
maybe she does though.
I don't think she does say. I think somebody mentions when they notice that she's being quite problematic. Somebody does mention she'll be offering us up for sacrifices soon. And that pretty much is exactly what happened. So it's almost like
I think Ollie mentions it. Yeah, I think Ollie mentions it at some point. But you're right. She's saying that basically God is mugged off because you've retconned this character so many times, and she clarifies that he's not the nice God from like, you know, the new Bible, NU Bible, and she's not like and he's not the God from this one. He's the OG God, and he's not having any of it. And this is and I think that one of the other characters actually says to her, like, "Oh no, I believe in God as well, just not the shit one that you've made up."
I think even William Sadler at this point, this is what's annoying about his character arc. Even William Sadler at this point is like, "Oh, shut up, you stupid." Even he's like 100% against the stuff she's saying, and he's kind of yeah. So when I guess certain things happen to him which turn him to the other side, but still a little bit frustrating. Zealot.
Wow. So at night, load of these like flying insects that are huge start landing on the windows. And sort of, I don't think they do anything.
It's because of the light, isn't it? They talk about them attracting, because they're setting up the shop with all these emergency lights, and there's the lights that are in there anyway, and they start landing on the glass. And this is where our religious preacher lady, and again, part of the thing is like, unless you've read all those books, she could just be making it up. She's like, oh, she might just be saying things in old-timey language. She likes.
I told you things would land on window. I told you things would land on window. That wasn't in the book.
Page 25 of the Bible here, it says
Terry 3:19. The things landed on the window.
Yes, spooky bugs landeth on the window, and lo, it did happen.
And lo, it did bring a
pterodactyls.
Yeah. Well, the pterodactyls are just popping in for a quick snack of the bugs that have got human faces. They're like weird little skeleton faces.
If this was a game, these are the first enemies you come across, you know. These are the small minor enemies which you can kill like with a swing of a melee weapon or something. Nothing to worry about too much. But the pterodactyls that follow, a little bit more tricky. They're going to take a few bullets.
Yeah.
And they're special pterodactyls as well. They're like X-wing pterodactyls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they smash through the window. And then chaos erupts. One of the checkout ladies gets stung in the neck.
And just after she found love as well.
Just after she found love. With a guy
she found love in a hopeless place.
after she found love with the Rasmus /
it was him. Somebody as an absolute beast, right? Don't they? They try and get a mop with all the gasoline on it. And then when they light it, they
trip over the bucket
and light themselves on fire. Like, oh, no wonder he wants to kill himself afterwards.
It's like where's the? It's like
someone comes like, "Where's the cone? Where's the cone?" They would not put a sign out. Yeah, it's not good. I mean, it's almost like one of the most painful deaths because it doesn't even end soon.
No.
And Thomas Jane takes, he has a good back and forth with the old pterodactyl, attacking it with a stick. Is it the mop? I think it's just the mop he's in.
I think he breaks the mop bit and it catches on fire. Then he just uses like the mop handle.
A mush on the floor, and it's just hitting it for ages.
And Toby Jones has got like a little snub-nosed revolver, which he's
he gets it out of the
aiming.
Was it?
He's got a little snub nose.
Amanda has it in her bag. Says, "Oh, here's the gun."
Here's the gunny. Gunny. But there's obviously a horrible bit where David's son like stands in the middle of the in one of the aisles while the four-winged beast is coming towards him, and Toby Jones is aiming the gun, and you're just like, oh my god, please no, just please no.
Yeah.
But luckily David grabs him right at the last second before he kills the fish.
And he shoots him. He shoots the pterodactyl, and there's that. Is this what pushes that lady over the edge? Because there's the lady that's looking after him.
Yeah. I think so.
Someone should have said to him, like, he only almost died. It's all right.
He's still alive.
I think she's just thinking, oh, I used to get so stressed when I had kids when they were young. Then they've moved out, they've grown up. Now I'm looking after a kid again. Can't handle it.
Can't handle it. Either that, or when she was just getting through. Right, the mist, that was bad. The tentacles slurping people off, pretty stressed. But the poisonous bugs, that's pretty bad. If I see a pterodactyl today, that's it for me.
Yeah.
That's
it
my
says
limit.
It says here that Ollie is a former regional shooting champion. Is that brought up?
He says
that.
Yeah,
he says,
He's like, I've done
it.
it.
Everyone's like, what are you doing with a gun, Ollie? He goes, I was the regional champion or something like that. Like, it's a bit of a weird flex. All right, Ollie.
It is a bit of a weird flex.
Everyone's giving him grief because he's like quite he's a man who's small in stature. He's got his glasses. I'm the best at shooting, actually.
Show us your party trick. What's your hidden talent? And he's like, well, you never guess what. Bang, 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 bang.
Not even got a gun. Just like, if I had a gun, he'd be dead.
But his fingers are smoking as well.
He can do like that Red Dead Redemption bit where it all goes slow motion. He's like,
very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. I like it.
We kind of know that everything in the mist is deadly at this point. The guy who burned himself is like in immense pain, and they're like, they need to go to the pharmacy next door. Although I don't think that's yet, because I think they send out the biker.
Yeah, I think he leaves at the same time that we've jumped over it a little bit. You know, when Raymond Holt is going to take all the people who are really in with him, who think just a bloody joke in it. They're just going to wander away, and the biker man says that he will go out. I know I've conjured it. Like, I can see you're thinking of Biker Meister and Mars right now, but you can see it in your eyes. But when the biker man from wherever he's from is going to go out, he leaves at the same time as Raymond Holt, and he goes out on a piece of string so they can see how far he's gone. They just end up, and I've written in my notes here, fishing for legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they end up just pulling his legs back, and that is when we never find out what happens to Captain Raymond Holt. He could be fine.
Yeah. Wait, he doesn't go, does he? Does he go?
He does. He leaves, and they wander off into the mist, and the last we see of Raymond Holt, he's just kind of looking quizzically into the distance, wondering what's going to happen.
Interesting.
Thinking to himself, "Ha! I was not tricked."
That's weird. You would think that maybe he'd pop up again somewhere later.
Yeah.
It would. In fact, it would have more impact if he was the one. Well, I don't want to spoil it, but it'd be more impact if he was the one taking the place of a certain short-haired.
That's Ben frozen.
That was weird.
As his lights are going off.
Did the power just go at Ben's house? Like, the lights just went off. That's freaky.
I've seen Ben freeze and his lights have gone off.
That is really freaky.
Has he been slurped off by the tentacles, or is it a whole host situation?
It got very hosty then. The lights just went off, and then Ben froze at the same time. That's.
I'm gonna take a picture of this. You can see.
Wow, that's terrifying.
Wow. Hopefully he comes back. Much like he was explaining that it would be good if Captain Raymond Holt has, and I think he's right. If we'd seen in another section, Raymond Holt come back into the, but we never find out what happens to him. Unless, do you remember seeing anything happen to him? Did we hear screams or anything? I don't think we did.
I couldn't even remember him leaving. So, hang on, what's Ben saying?
He's saying, "Oh, wait, the power's back on. He's going to have to boot back up."
Okay, all right, no worries. Well, he can join back in a sec. Yeah.
In case we don't edit this, so Ben is on his way back. He has not been slurped off by any tentacles.
Yeah. So Raymond Holt, I couldn't even remember him leaving. So I don't think we do find out what happens to him. But Miss Carmody takes all these deaths as more evidence. So she's getting more people on her side now.
And sure takes the bad night they've had as well. Someone's died, and if you don't listen to me enough, then more people are going to die tomorrow night when more pterodactyls come.
Yeah. So they go to the pharmacy because the burnt guy he's burnt badly. It's not going to heal on its own. He's like, wait, I think he wants to die. Like he's saying, "Kill me."
We kind of
so
says
painful.
like, if you can't get me any medicine, then honestly, just give me the gun. I'll do it myself. I think he says like,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's in horrendous pain.
Because in that comedy accident he ends up being almost entirely burned, like all over, right?
It's almost as painful as when you pluck a nose hair. Have you ever done that?
I have.
Or like an eyebrow hair.
Yeah. So I've got a bit of a rogue eyebrow here. Like... Or worse still, if you've got like a rogue eyelash, imagine that. Oh,
yeah.
But he's probably in that level of pain. So a few of the gang, some of our major characters, Death from Bill and Ted,
Ollie,
David, Ollie.
Yeah.
So they all go next door to the pharmacy, and they're going to see. They sort of explain to the others, and we're getting more of a divide in the group. Here he is.
I have no idea what happened, but my electricity just all switched off.
It was really weird because we saw the lights go off, and just your face remained. It was like a jump scare from Host.
Oh man. I'm gonna have to. I was gonna say I'll do it on my phone, but I've got barely any battery. So let me just log back in. I might need a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? Did you guys carry on?
We're just carrying on. They're in the pharmacy now.
They've just gone to the pharmacy, Ben. So they've arrived there.
Let me reboot, and I'll join the call. You guys carry on. I'll join the call in a minute, all right?
Okay,
That's good.
All right.
Bye.
This is very dynamic podcasting. We've shown ourselves to be real pioneers. But they go to the pharmacy only to find out that what's happened there is they've done the opposite of what they did in the supermarket. Instead of sealing the doors up, what they've done is propped them open.
Why would you do that? Why would you see the mist coming, you hear the screams, and you think better let this draft all the way in.
Well, we just think, we'll just blow through.
Yeah. Yeah. But in there seemed to me to get one of the worst deaths in the film. There's like these killer spiders in there that lay eggs in your back or something.
All over you. And their webs are not only sticky, but they appear to be quite burny as well.
I don't understand how they must have two types of webs, because something that sticks to something can't also burn it. Surely. I mean, because they've got those ones where the people are stuck against the wall. It's very Aliens.
I thought. Yeah, they fill you up with spiders. Yeah, maybe it's a bit like, you know how when you're just using your mouth and you do hot breath or cold breath, if you do a wide or a small mouth.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what the spiders do. They can do a sticky web or a burny one.
Yeah. The burny one's kind of crazy because it doesn't stop burning. It's like something from Cube. It's like a trap from Cube. Like it goes all the way through. It doesn't stop burning.
And it keeps on it. But the guys do some. Like the spiders will come down in a bit, I guess. First thing they do is they go in there. They see that there's people all webbed up by the spiders. And they find the military policeman who told the soldiers, who have gone, at least the Rasmus did.
Yeah.
They go and they find out that the military policeman who told them the holiday was cancelled, he is the person they find who grabs someone. He is not quite dead, and he grabs someone and is able to mutter that he's very sorry and it's all their fault. And this is where we get the first indication of what the mist is. I guess you can always imply from the beginning that it's something to do with the army base that's up in the mountains.
Yeah.
But this is when he is like, this is all our fault. We're real sorry. And then to show how sorry he is, he explodes into spiders.
Yeah. It's kind of great. And also like someone's like stamping on the spiders or something as these sort of tumble out. They're the small ones.
Yeah, they're the baby spiders, but then the big ones also turn up, right? And this is the ones that can do the sticky or the acid.
They've also got kind of human faces as well, so
Yeah.
very human-like faces.
Do you reckon they're related to the wasps?
Yeah, I think they've
almost got similar faces.
Yeah,
they've got similar faces, but they gob in things, and this is where everyone's doing some incredible matrix dodging, right? Because especially the army guy, they're properly like ducking out the way of these strings of web.
it kind of makes you want to try it yourself, but I mean, it does look quite deadly, quite dangerous. Like one guy gets a bit of web on his leg, and it saws his leg off. Right? Does it come all the way off? Yeah,
I'm not sure if it comes all the way through, but it's very burny. Certainly, someone else gets a gobful of it a bit later on, don't they?
Someone grab some Savlon while we're in the film.
Is it like bee or wasps thing? Is that is it vinegar or soap that I need?
Yeah, just use both. So they get out of there with some bits that they need, but by the time they get back, the burning man is already dead. So he didn't make it.
So who gets out? So David, Ollie, he saves the day again. Like literally, a spider is in front of them at the door, and he blows it away. I think he misses a shot this entire at the end of this film. They'll do all the stats and awards, and I think he gets 100% accuracy.
Yeah, he wins the regional championship for this film. Yeah,
he gets like a little medal for best accuracy for the whole thing. One of the army guy that went makes it back out as well. So one of the mechanics is the one that gets a face full of spiders, and the spiders eat him. But it's our main one, so Death. He is scarred by the whole event, which is what sees him go on to join a certain religious cult, who's gained in power because one of the wasps landed on her chest and didn't sting her. Right? It was like, nah, you're all right.
But wasps did it all the time. If you don't react, quite often they'll just sort of leave you alone. Ben's back.
He is back again.
A man on the streets. A roving reporter.
Yeah. So the mist out there, bad out there. Looks terrible. Looks ever so thick.
As a wasp landed on you and it didn't sting you, so now you're a religious prophet.
I'm a religious prophet. I'm a zealot. I'm a poet, but I don't know it. What are you guys up to?
The guys have just encountered the horrid spiders at the pharmacy, and then they've just run back. Do you have anything you want to add about the spiders, Ben?
I mean, they've got really venomous, horrible. They're squirting stuff out, aren't they? All their webs are acidic.
Sometimes hot, sometimes melty. Yeah.
Yeah. What did they go there for? Oh, they go there for just some painkillers for old Bernie McBurneyson.
Someone's got an headache.
Yeah, someone's got an absolutely banging headache.
Stonk on. Yeah,
it's a migraine. It's not the same.
Someone's got a stonk on.
Probably.
Someone probably has got a stonk on. They're probably like, cool, I might not ever get out of this alive. Who's looking attractive? Ollie.
He's a regional champion. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're back, and then we have kind of, would you call it just a necessary time jump? Because Thomas Jane is real tired and he has a little sleep, and he wakes up and basically a load of people are religious now. He slept for like a day.
The weirdest one is William Sadler. Like, since he came back from the pharmacy, he's like, I had a near-death experience then. Before, where I pretty much just told the religious nut to shut the frick up. Now I'm well on board with it. I
forgot the highlight of before they went to the shop. You know who else goes to the shop with them? Dale from The Walking Dead and Grandma. And the old lady,
Green Giant
yeah, she proper clocks over the tin of Green Giant when she's going, oh, God's going to want to go, love it.
Yeah. I love it. That's absolutely wonderful.
And she points out how it's okay via the Bible. She goes, in the Bible, you can waz tins at people if you don't like what they're saying. And she's like,
stone people,
fair comment, yeah. Fair enough.
Fair comment. Yeah. And she goes, "Oh, I got plenty more where that came from. I got tins of broad beans here as well. That'll pack a punch."
And the thing about tins,
chili.
the thing about tins, they're not used up. They're not going to be gone. Just pick them back up, waz them again.
Yeah,
exactly. Just a bit dented. They'll be fine.
Manager special. Put a yellow sticker on them.
What would you do in this scenario? Because someone does make a point that, you know, we should just hunker down and stay and have the food. Do they mainly want to leave because there is a religious uprising happening in the small community of a tiny supermarket?
I think so.
Probably, because you know it is when you're in the streets. If one of those religious preachers there, you don't want to hang around there. You want to move on, don't you?
Yeah.
Why's a tin of beans to get out of there?
Yeah.
Who threw that? Nobody knows.
So getting towards the end now, I mean, the army people, 2 of them have killed themselves because of the guilt of opening up a portal to.
Did he feel guilty? Erasmus's second hit.
Yeah.
How is it?
Guilty.
It's quite a niche.
Is that a hit?
It's quite a niche thing to feel guilty about, isn't it? Like I was gonna say, like, if you're I was gonna make a joke. I think it might be in poor taste. What I was gonna say is on a suicide hotline, I'm like, what do you feel guilty about? I've only gone and opened up a portal to another dimension and loads of things come out. It's like, I'm not qualified to deal with that, sorry.
Yeah. And they only worked there. It wasn't them that said, like, open dimensional vortex, yes, no, yes, go on holiday.
Yeah. They just went, yes, go on holiday. But the Mrs. Carmody, like, blames the sort of only remaining military guy, Starkiller. She blames him, like, oh, it was him, he did it. He loves the interdimensional stuff. He loves it.
But
he loves the creatures out there.
If she admits that the army did it, surely that proves that it isn't God. But then she's like, no, what they did was they made God really cross, and then he sent the ghoulies.
Where in the Bible are all these ghoulies? Where in the Bible is there like a 250-foot tall, long-legged Mac Daddy who's walking around crushing things?
Someone in the back. Like that's the whole thing. Though, like I say, because
someone in the back.
Unless everyone's read it, it's like that bit from.
Oh no! Gone again.
I was gonna say it's like that bit from The Grinch with the Book of Who, where if you haven't read it, she'd be like, "Oh, as the Book of Who says, God sends all the ghoulies to get you." And unless you challenge her on it and say, "What page does it say that on?" then people are just eating that up. He looks like he's been got even more this time.
For the listeners, Ben's been got by the ghost from Host again.
And as they say in the Bible, Luke, if you podcast on a Tuesday, then sometimes you'll get hosted.
Yeah. Bless him. Look at him smiling away.
Yeah, he seems quite happy in the afterlife.
They killed the army guy by now.
Yeah,
right?
they stab him, but they don't. Maybe is it to assuage their guilt, or is it just because things get better? Like he gets stabbed and everything, but they don't physically kill him. Then they chuck him out the door feed him
to the beast, don't they?
Yeah, and then I couldn't pick out what this is meant to be. He just gets got by a fairly unseen one.
Like a giant crab. It's got like claws, I think, because it rips them in. We've heard it a few times. I think it's the one that got the biker as well, the biker man from Mars.
The Wikipedia says it's a like a mantis-like character. Here you go.
Yeah, having some problems in South Bristol, it would seem. So I have to do it like this. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
We can. We're just saying that the army man Benny gets stabbed and then chucked out the door, and then something gets him. The Wikipedia says that it's like a mantis creature. So I'm imagining, hang on a second, all these weird and wonderful animals. Maybe the dimension they've opened is the Pokemon dimension. That's a side. That's a side that's got him. And we had Beedrills came through earlier on, and then there's Aerodactyls that came in. That's it. We've cracked it.
I mean, it goes proper mental, doesn't it? It goes proper biblical at this point. It's like it's quite a reach to think that people would potentially react in this way, but maybe they're scared. So But still, doesn't Mrs. Carmody say, get a little boy?
That's the next morning. So they chuck him out.
That's right.
And she says, well, now we've done a sacrifice tonight, so everything will be absolutely sound. So, so tomorrow, what's it going to be? Tomorrow, what's the next thing? And this is when all of our goodies decide that they're going to chip off. And then
see you later.
Everyone gets together, and in the morning, so it's David, the shop's manager, Ollie, the teacher from The Walking Dead, Dale from The Walking Dead, and Grandma who throws the tinnies. All of those guys get together and basically say, right, it's just before dawn. Ollie has put like a couple of bags of shopping. He's got a couple of bags for life stacked up, and they're going to go. And then all the others, the general congregation, are all asleep. But it's like bloody Return of the Jedi. It's like Jabba's palace. Like Mrs. Carmody set up a big trap. Rather than just go, I know you're planning to escape, sees them. What she's done is she's moved the shopping and then is like waiting like a Bond villain for them to turn around and be like, stealing food, aren't we?
Yeah. She's got like a right hand man as well who's come out of nowhere, like a butcher dude, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got a butcher, she's got a baker, she's got a candlestick maker, all lined up. They're all mini bosses you got to fight.
Yeah.
And she's having none of it. Just think of it though. They were all getting the. Did she have to tell all of it? Right, you pretend to be asleep, pretend to be right. This is going to be so good. Like, maybe when she thought that David was tricking, what she thought, tricking people. There's an idea. I'll get in on that. And she's tricked them into thinking that they're asleep, but no, she's a plan. And this is Ben when she says, right, better sacrifice the boy, I guess. Oh, and that woman who I have taken against for no reason, despite the fact the only thing she was offered to be my friend.
Yeah.
She wants to squat down and shit her out.
The thing is, I feel like with it being a Stephen King story, there's a version of this story where the kid got sacrificed.
Yeah.
Like he has no qualms of like murdering little kids in his stories at all. In fact, I think he quite likes it. Just pop a quick child death in there. Yeah. But they get out, but not before Ollie Meeks. Ollie Meeks?
Yeah. Ollie, champion of the world. This is when he really becomes the hero. The hero.
Meeks, 18 years old.
Yeah.
The hero that Gotham needs and deserves. And he teaches her a right old lesson, didn't he? So she's there egging on her crowd of. She's having a lovely glass of milk and egging on her followers. And what Ollie does is he shoots her once in the butt, once in the belly, once right between the eyes. And that is the end of her religious following, because suddenly, with her dead, everyone thinks, woof.
I think somebody does even say, you murderer, or something. But no.
Yeah, someone goes, you murdered her. Yeah, if I'd have been Ollie, I said, do you want some as well, mate? He does some right
He does say, I had no choice, which is like kind of right, isn't it? Like,
I mean, they were gonna kill the woman and a kid. She deserved to die, really.
Yeah,
she did deserve. The thing is, proper annoying. She just made everything 10 times worse, isn't it? Like a mist is here, full of creatures. Jesus Christ, it's horrible one to have to deal with as well. Not only that, a religious nut who wants to sacrifice people. That's too many. That's like 2 buses coming along when you've been waiting for one.
That's probably what tipped that old lady over the edge as well as that pterodactyls, because we forgot about it with all the host. One of their other allies, she takes an overdose at some point and dies. But now we're left with our main characters that are going to leave. With the tension broken over the religious cult, that broken up, everyone kind of gets out of their way and they go to leave. And the plan is that they're all going to run to David's car, which is not as far away as the biker's car was. And they're going to go and get in there. And then they're all going to pile in because there are a few too many to fit in the car.
With this, I'm like, I wouldn't be confident enough to remember exactly where I parked.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I think it's over here. But
Bluetooth, red free. Which one was it?
yeah. I'd be like, oh no. Turns out I didn't drive after all.
Also, I'm glad he got the pistol because there was a shotgun in the glove box as well. Imagine if he had that at the end of the film. Just a shotgun.
Just in a car.
Yeah.
And he's got a 4x4 as well. Imagine if, like, I have a smart car. Can you imagine?
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I guess also, like, maybe because this was written in the 80s, did people have dingers for their cars then? Because he could find it in the mist, even if it was now, he could just make the lights flash as he's running to it.
But obviously, a lot of characters do die here, including Ollie. I think the store manager. People just get
store
picked
manager
off.
does. I think the store manager. I know he gets back in.
Gets back inside. Yeah.
He gets
he runs back to the doors and they let him in.
Okay.
They do let him in. So maybe without her around, they become nicer.
Got on after this. I wonder how everybody in there got on. I reckon they just got on like a house on fire after that.
Yeah, you haven't got that much longer to get on for, right? Like, it's all right in a bit.
Yeah.
So they get a few of them get in the car. A few of the guys get taken off, but what we're left is with David, with her name is Laurie. No, that's her actor, Amanda.
Laurie Holden.
So David, Amanda, Dale from The Walking Dead.
I just realised something. So Laurie Holden plays Sybil in the Silent Hill movie, who also pretty much gets sacrificed by religious nuts. She gets burned.
Ah, it's that person. Same person. Okay, yeah.
So in that film, she gets burned, and in this film, which is 1 year later, she gets like almost burned, or almost killed by religious nuts.
Yeah.
Getting typecast. You look just like someone who would get sacrificed by
someone who would fall foul of a cult.
Allergic to nuts.
You look allergic to nuts. Oh,
yeah. Despite not using their names for the entire film, what we're left in the car is with David, Amanda, scrolling across, Bill, his son, Big Billy, Dan, who is the guy from The Walking Dead, the old chap, and then the grandma, whose name is Irene. In this,
he carries Billy really strange. I noticed he carries him not like under one arm or something. He almost carries him like sort of like a big present, a big Christmas present. It's like sideways all the time. He's going, out of the way, I got a big Christmas present here, out of the way, with little legs hanging out.
He's going to catch his legs on all the door frames.
Yeah, exactly.
He should get on his back or something like that, but no.
Yeah, strap him
on his shoulders.
So it's just the 5 of them left, and he manages to get Ollie's gun off the bonnet of the car. A spider almost gets him, but they get away with it. And then they made it to the car and they hit the road and they call back at David's house quickly, only to find that his wife has been got, right?
By spiders, right? She's covered in webs.
By spiders, but she looks pretty peaceful. She looks like she's just chilling there in the spider's web.
Also, the music's really nice here. It's kind of got a like a nice operatic.
It's how she wanted to go. It's how she wanted to go. What she wanted.
Very peaceful.
I really love the big Lovecraftian giant kaiju thing as well. They're just sort of sitting in the car, occasionally bouncing, pretending to bounce because it's like so big.
Yeah, and it wanders past them on the highway. I did wonder though. There's one thing that David beats himself up about here, because the whole reason with him going to the store was to get some stuff to fix the window, right? Yeah. And then when he gets there, he sees his wife has been got by the spiders, and he's sort of very upset, as you would be, saying,
"Did you not see him holding that bit of glass?"
And he was like, "Oh, I was meant to fix that. I was meant to fix that window." And he's like, "You were going to the shop to fix that window. Like, you're never going to feel bad. Like, oh, I've been putting that off for months, and that's what got her killed." Like, you were literally going on the day it had been broken.
Yeah,
that's how the spiders got in.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, we don't know what happened unless there's a deleted scene where like they trick her, like 3 of them get into a coat and knock on the door.
There's got to be a deleted scene where she's just like, "Where are they? Where they got to?"
Yeah. Well, then we have the famous end scene.
Yeah, they drive till they run out of petrol, and then there they are, thinking they gave it a damn good go.
It does feel like a knee-jerk reaction, doesn't it? I feel like there'll be a lot more conversation.
They're supposed to have been driving for a long time there, right? I feel like
they were going to drive until they ran out of petrol. So that is going to be what they'll have been through this for several days.
Unless he forgot to fill it up. And it's like it was half an hour later. Right, we did say.
Oh no, bloody hell.
Yeah. So
weird.
If you had a full tank on that day, so they've probably driven for like hundreds of miles, maybe.
Yeah.
No, it can't be because if something happens in a bit, they've driven across town, maybe.
Yeah. They're not that far. No, I don't think they're that far. Yeah.
Oh, doesn't it say where's the place? Maine, probably. Doesn't it? We see a road sign that says they've got somewhere else. I think they're in the next state,
Portland,
or they've gone out of state. Portland.
I think. I mean, I might be remembering that completely wrong, but I swear it says Portland.
But
they're upstate New York, and if they've gone to Portland, that's east to west, right? I think they've driven across the country if that's the case.
Yeah, I might.
But there's probably more than one Portland. I'm sure.
Possibly. I might just imagined it. What a weird thing to imagine, but still.
Yeah. We've done the Oregon Trail. Are you getting the maps out, Andy?
I'm getting the maps out. Let's have a look how far it is from New York to Portland.
Yeah, I remember we were watching Friends, and there's that episode where
the opposite side of the country.
Yeah,
it can't be that then. It can't be
44-hour drive.
It can't be.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. So anyway, he shoots everyone.
Yeah, he does. And they point out that he's going to shoot everyone, but they've got how many bullets are left, and it's like 4, and there's 5 of them. You couldn't help but wonder, but have you seen that Red Dwarf where they're thinking about killing each other, and he thinks just put your heads together?
Yeah.
But no.
I thought get the old ones back together. They probably got the most brittle skulls, and
isn't there a bit right before he shoots his son? The son wakes up from his long nap, and looks over to his dad, and then it cuts to the faraway shot of the truck. Right?
Yeah.
Does that happen?
Yeah, okay. It does. And I guess this is probably one of the reasons he did it, right? Because in a conversation before they leave, they have a whispered chat, don't they, where little Billy says, "Oh, Dad, you've got to give me your best promise and you can't break it. You can't let the monsters get me." I mean, he doesn't specifically say, "Dad, fucking shoot us if the monsters might get us." But yeah, he says that he doesn't want the monsters to get him, and he's been asleep for a while. I bet David's cussing himself for not shooting him a few minutes earlier.
In what order do you think he did it?
Well, the kid first, I think.
Yeah.
Kid first.
Kid.
Laurie second.
Laurie. Old folks.
Wow.
That's it.
Just imagine you missed with one of them.
I know.
And he does it in rapid succession as well. It's like bang, 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 bang. Like literally is.
And he's like thinking, well, Ollie, national champion here. Like, he knew.
National champion.
He didn't want to say it at the time because Ollie was really proud of that. But
then, I mean, it is pretty harrowing when he's screaming and when he's like trying to fire the gun into his own mouth, and it's just clicking.
And then the music starts up again. And like the army.
I mean, we're making light of it because
it's truly harrowing. It's one of the most harrowing endings.
It's really sad. I sat and I'd watched this film yesterday, and I was like, oh, geez, I don't remember it being quite so. And then he gets out of the car, doesn't he? So he's really upset. He's literally screaming and shouting. It makes you think as well.
Yeah.
Like, Tom Jane has a certain role of thing that he gets, but he's good. I thought he did excellently, and genuinely affecting acting in this.
Yeah, definitely.
And then he gets out the car and he's shouting, saying, "Come on, then, come get us, monsters."
And the army are like, "Oh, what? Oh, didn't hear you before. We'll come and get you."
I feel like if I was him, all right. Oh, sorry. So obviously, the army do turn up. They're burning everything. They're burning big old sacks of spiders. We even see a little truck go past with the woman Carol from Walking Dead who was up with her kids, obviously saved. It would have been more impactful if it was dude from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I think, on that.
That's what you were saying earlier. Yeah.
He's like, I got a cup of tea. It's kind of like a warm cup of tea or something. What a neck pillows, like airplane neck pillows.
And he's got a T-shirt made saying, number of times I've been tricked by my neighbour, 0.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Yeah, what a dick.
One.
Because David beat him in that court case.
Yeah.
He'd be like, right now we're even.
No, we're even. You're even. All your family's dead. Boo hoo. Boo hoo. My car's fucked. A tree landed on it. So we're even. All right. We've both been through shit.
But his car is. But his family's dead, and his boathouse got smashed. So he's one down.
Who gives a fuck about a boathouse, though? Really, isn't it?
Yeah.
He never used it. It was just there for show.
So I've got some name game for you guys if you're up for it.
Oh, it sounds good. And before we get that, I just say, like, this shows the impact of this final bit of the film. Usually, film finishes, credits come on, and unless it's a Marvel film where there's going to be a stinger, I'm gone. I sat and watched the entire credit run. After the music, music finishes.
Yeah.
It just goes to silence and helicopters flying past. I sat and watched the whole thing, just thinking about life for a minute.
Jesus.
But yeah.
It's a good ending. I mean, it's one of those endings that you'll never ever forget. Okay, name game. On that note, let's do something a bit lighter. So the first one is a film I watched, and it's about this group of people who find themselves locked in a supermarket, and you start to think about all those people who are not locked in a supermarket, and that gets them really sad.
The Mist, people who they're not seeing them, they're missing them.
The Mist, correct. MISSED. This other film, number 2. Some people are in a supermarket, and a guy runs in and screams, "There's something in the it's kind of like a fog sort of thing with things in it." You know what I mean?
The gist.
Yeah, the gist. Yeah.
Well done. Number 3, a group of people are trapped in a supermarket because outside there's just a bunch of people dancing, spinning their hips, and they won't get out of the way.
The twist.
Twist, well done. Number 4, a guy runs inside a supermarket and yells, "Ow! The bit between my forearm and hand hurts."
The wrist.
The wrist.
I was just trying to think about arms, and I was like...
Number 5, a bunch of C-list celebrities get trapped in a supermarket and can't venture outside because anyone who steps outside falls down a rung on a celebrity ladder.
The Z-list?
The Z-list. Or the B-list, the C-list.
D-list.
Oh, the
D-list.
You said a rung.
D-list.
Okay, all right. Let you have that one.
Okay, and the last one, got an extra bonus one. A certain Luke Condor didn't get to watch The Mist in black and white.
The elitist, Ben.
The colorist. I don't know. What?
The Mist.
The Mist.
Yeah.
Got
be pretty miffed about that.
Yeah.
It was significantly better in black and white, I think.
Do you feel you really got the experience of like the old creature feature movies?
Yeah, I think so.
But you couldn't tell me what colour Thomas Jane's shirt was. You'll never know, Ben. Don't even guess.
I'll never know.
If you don't know, there's not worth telling you now. Me and Luke will know. It's a secret we'll never tell.
So it'd be interesting to know what your ratings for this movie are. I've got no idea. I don't know where it sits with other people.
Interesting. I think I'll go quite high because it's a film I've seen quite a lot now, and every time I kind of enjoy it, and it always gives me. It's like satisfying in so many ways, isn't it? Like douchebag character gets comeuppance, creatures, gore,
the
Shermanator, bleak, horrible ending, Stephen King story. I think it's got loads going for it. And it's kind of like, I know I haven't watched the TV show, but I feel like I still do feel like I would like to experience more. I know the TV show wasn't received very well critically, but I'd probably go as far as an A-, I think, just for that rewatchability, because I've never got bored of it every time I've seen it, and it's always a film you discuss. You know, oh God, have you seen The Mist? Can't believe the ending, mate. Can you know what a silly sausage? Should have waited 5 minutes. Gutted for it.
Yeah.
And a good adaptation of a Stephen King story. Or obviously there are plenty, but it's definitely up there, isn't it?
A-, did you say?
Yeah.
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 I was just jumping. I'm going to go for an A- as well. I was like, as I was watching it, I always knew I liked the film, and I always knew the ending. The end is one of the greatest horror movie endings of all time for me. But I found myself getting really drawn into the story again. I just thought I'd put it on casually, but I've seen it a few times already. But every single time I put it on, I just get really into it and can't stop watching it. And it's just super engrossing. Yeah. I was going to go for an A-. I mean, it should maybe an A. I mean, what's dragging it down? Some of the special effects.
It nails the dynamic between survivors, characters, so well. Because most of the time, between survivors, you've got someone who's a leader, you've got someone who's a liability, you've got someone who's, a dickhead.
Yeah.
You got the muscle. It kind of nails that dynamic because it's so fresh. It's so new. There's so many different characters and they've all got a role to play. So I think it's up there.
Yeah. What about you, Andy? What are you going to give it?
I'm joining you guys on the high side. I've maybe seen it less times than you guys, but I'm the same. I knew the film and I knew what to expect, but it is still very affecting. I don't think the aged visuals really dragged it down, especially if it was in black and white. Then I think that might be even more forgiving. But it is super affecting. For what is on the face of it an outlandish fictional story of of horrific things. There's a lot very relatable, and maybe it's just the world we live in right now, but the whole thing about crises and the relationships between different groups of people and how polarized people can become as well. There's some real big moments and beats in there. There are so many great people that are in it in a context that you're not used to seeing them in. And unlike some of those other really good and affecting horror films, even though parts of it genuinely was, when I was watching this yesterday, I did sit and felt a bit sad for a little while after it was all over. But even that said, I could still watch this film again. I don't think I would have to, this isn't one that I think, I'm not watching that right now. I think it's something you could put on and have a fairly regular watch of, because there's a lot to take out of it. Yeah. But so I'm going to join you, Luke, on an A. I think. Loved it.
Cool. Yeah, it's great film.
Nice. Very, very, very.
Maybe. I'm assuming maybe I'd be an A- like Ben, but I'm assuming I'm going to imagine it in black and white and give it an A preemptively.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, what are we doing next week? Not The Brood. It's not Sleepy Hollow.
House of Wax lined up for next week.
Ah, okay. It's been a while.
Are you watching original or Paris Hilton?
Paris Hilton.
Paris Hilton, yeah.
That was unanimous. You were straight in with that. There was no doubt.
Yeah, we knew which one. We knew which one was going to be.
Yeah. Cool. All right then. Well, if you enjoyed the episode, please consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/Hawk and Cleaver. Thanks to Kovac Cowman for our theme music. Thanks to Acast for hosting the show. Thanks to the listeners. Join the Facebook group Horror Hangout Board of Advisors, and remember to hit subscribe. Thanks to my co-hosts Andy and Ben for being right horror dudes.
Thank you, Luke.
Thank you. See you later.
Thank you so much.
Bye. In a bit. Bye. Bye.